Hey, what's up YouTube? Enforcer5150 here, and we're going to go ahead and do some benchmarking again on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now I'm finally back just a little bit, kind of back. After my back surgery on Thursday, I'm actually starting to feel a little bit better that I can get up and, do a few things. So I'm going to do a quick video here. I'm going to only do the high settings. And I really apologize for that. Anyway, we're going to be using the RTX 2080 along with the i9 9900k that I put together a few weeks ago with my daughter. And I definitely suggest, checking that video out again. Anyway, what we have here is we have everything at max, as I was mentioning. We have put everything for the first time. We're going to go with 4K, and we're going on full screen. And now with this game, it doesn't really change that much when you go from the full screen to the borderless. I may do another test of that another time, but like I said, I don't have much time here, so we're gonna get right to it, and we're gonna start out with 50 frames per second. And I'm not expecting a lot of frames per second because this is the 2080. This is not the 2080 Ti. The Ti is more of a 4K card, which this one we're expecting around 40s and stuff like that, and it's pretty much what we're getting here. We're in the upper 30s about, and 40s. So I mean, everything looks great, and it is playable when you're looking at 4K and you're just playing casually. Basically, for a first-person shooter or something like that, it's definitely not the kind of frames per second you want to see. You want to see over 60 frames per second at minimum. But, a game like this, you can kind of get away with lower frames per second in some dense areas. On the PlayStation and Xbox, normally you only get about 30 frames per second anyway. I know PlayStation 4 Pro is definitely at 30 frames per second for this game. So that is not that bad. We have VSync off, like I said, but we're not even getting over 60 frames per second here, so it doesn't really matter. We have an average of 42, but if you look at my benchmark at the top there, it looks like we're at about 38 is our minimum. For some reason, the game benchmark takes it before the game even loads, and that's where you get that 30 or that 28 low. And I don't really trust that, just because it's taking it before the game loads up, so it's not really getting a good benchmark of how the game's actually going. And you can see at my 1% low, it's at 35. So we're going to go ahead and run this now at 1440p. Everything is maxed out again, and then I'll start the benchmark here. You see where it started it way before it even loaded up, and that's what I don't like about this in-game benchmark. It's kind of the only thing. But if you see here, we're at upper 50s, almost 60 frames per second. We would like to see over 60 frames per second. And if I overclock the CPU, which I can because it is the 9900K, we could definitely see, possibly, staying over 60 frames per second. And I may do that here in the future. But, recently I don't really see a need to do it because I'm not worried about getting 57 frames per second versus 60. I'm not going to notice the difference. Other people might. It may just annoy them that they have the frames per second counter up there, but that's a personal preference. But anyway, we're not doing too bad. My boost is 4700 megahertz. That's the default boost that you get in BIOS when you turn on your normal boost. So we have about 61, and we have a 39 minimum. That isn't too bad. It's very playable. If you look at my benchmark scores, you see I have a 49 at low. My average there is 60, well, about 70, 71, and it's starting to go more because right now it's at 111, just going at 111. And you can definitely tell when you start going, over 100 frames per second, between 60 and 70s, you're not really going to notice that much. But once you start getting over to 110, 120 frames per second, you definitely start noticing the difference on high refresh rate monitors. So you want to look out for that. So I did another benchmark at 1080p, and something happened in the background, like a Windows update or something. Some kind of notification messed up the benchmark, and I'm not really satisfied with it. As you see, I got about 75 frames per second and a 39 minimum on there, and it's no difference than my my 1080p one. So I'm kind of going between these two. We're going to go ahead and run this benchmark one more time, just to kind of see. All right, so here we go. We're running the benchmark again at 1080p, and already I can kind of see that I am getting more frames than I was on my first run. I don't know what was running in the background. It may have been a scheduled defrag on my hard drive or something like that. So anyway, we're looking like we're doing pretty good here. Yeah, I mean, that's very playable. I'd like to see a little bit more, but I'm not a picky one. This game, I'm kind of waiting to play it again. All my save games were deleted, the cloud saves and stuff like that, and I only have my level 12 freaking save games, and I am not motivated to play again because I was at like 76% progression, and I was at like level 47, 48. So I'm, very unmotivated to try it again. All right, so here we go. Definitely 75 average. So we are getting around the same average that I had before. I think the low is going to be a little bit different though. Yeah, see, our minimum is 44 on there, and mine is a 65 minimum on here. And like I said, you can always overclock the CPU a little bit more, get a little more juice out of it and stuff like that. My 1% low is only at 58, and that's not too bad. Go ahead and have this saved. Anyway, like I said before, I'm only doing the highest resolutions because I can't really do much editing and stuff like that in benchmarks after this surgery. I'm not supposed to be, stretching, bending, or anything like that for a few days. So hopefully in the next few days I'll be able to get some more stuff uploaded and stuff like that. My school starts this week, so that's going to be keeping me to the once a week, about 1 to 2 times a week uploads. So I will have more content being uploaded here in the near future. And I just want to mention that everything recorded in this video was done with the AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K, which you can see in the description, and along with other links as my recent affiliate, which is Samsung. Check out some new phones. The Note 9 is awesome. The S10 is coming out soon. I personally have the S9 Plus, and I love it. So make sure you slam that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.